going on, guys? How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
I'm doing good, man. It's a pleasure to have you on because my man in the upper corner is a big time Net fan for 2 years, and just to see
2 years. So what you're telling me, he doesn't go back to Kenny Anderson, Derek Coleman, Chris Morris, Armand Gilliam, Benoit Benjamin, and Drazen Petrovic?
No.
Not even
Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Richard
Terry
Jefferson.
Kittles, and Jason Williams.
We don't have enough time to divulge the reason why I've been going back and forth with my teams. I never had a team. I was an NBA fan. I never had a team.
I mean, that's fair. A lot of kids I grew up with, even like they loved the NBA, but they didn't root for a team.
I rooted for a team. Randy knows this. I rooted for a team. The 54-win New York Knicks. That was the team I was in love with.
You gave up
1 year. 1 year.
Yeah. I gave up because you know what happened after that year, right?
I mean, we haven't won a playoff series since.
The decision making from management
it wasn't good, but you can't just leave your team though.
I know. I see, and that's the thing.
But you did.
I did, and Randy, God bless. Randy, you guys, the Knicks, have been going through some trials and some tribulations,
to say the least.
Up and down.
Me personally, I'm not the one to keep going on this very frustrating roller coaster. I'm going to get off.
So you're a bandwagon fan. You're a bandwagon fan.
I just said I'm going to get off the roller coaster. That is said team that I joined.
It's definitely been a roller coaster.
It's a fair statement, you know. And
of
course, now that I'm with the Nets, I'm on another roller coaster. So go figure.
You guys. I mean, obviously you're a better team than the Knicks. There's no doubt about that. That's not exactly rocket science, but you guys are dealing with a lot with, Kevin Durant being hurt now, but he's going to be back. He might even be back for that Knicks-Nets game February 16th. James Harden's played a lot better lately. The Kyrie Irving situation, it doesn't seem like he's getting vaccinated at all. And me personally, I don't care if you don't get vaxxed or not. I'm vaxxed. I have all 7 shots. But as far as Kyrie, that's his right, I guess. But I don't think, and I'm not going to make this into a COVID thing, I don't think New York City's changing the rules anytime soon.
Absolutely not.
Maybe down the road, but nowhere time soon. So, I mean, it's going to be weird come playoff time.
Randy, before I bounce it off to you. So now that you know the trials and tribulations of my 2-year journey with the Nets, your trials and tribulations expand decades with the Knicks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Decades. So the question I have, and maybe most people that are watching, all over the world, how do you have so much patience with this team?
Because when you love something so much, it's tough. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's been easy. Whether it's when I was in 4th grade in 1993 and Charles Smith was missing layups, or 5th grade losing to the Rockets in Game 7, or being in 6th grade and Ewing missing a finger roll, or losing to the finals and losing to the Spurs in the finals in '99, or in 1997 8th grade we get 20 guys suspended and blow a 3-1 series lead to the Heat, or the next 20 years where we've won exactly 1 playoff series. So I've been through a lot with this team, but you can't give up. Obviously, I'm always realistic. I'm not going to come out here and say, we're winning the championship.
Randy.
I do think the team is headed in the right direction, but it's been tough. I'm not going to sit here and say it's been easy. It's easy not to give up, but it's hard. It's been a rough, I'll say 30 years, but at least the first 10 years of my fandom, from 92 to like 01, we were in the playoffs every year. Every year you could say you had a chance. For the last 20 years, there hasn't been a lot of years you can say you even had a chance to win a playoff series, let alone, at least my childhood, we had chances to win the championship. We were in the finals twice, had some deep runs, got to the conference finals in the year 2000. But I got news for you guys. The year 2000 was 22 years ago. You know what I'm saying? The year 2000 was 22 years ago.
That's a long time, brother. That's a long time.
My 11th grade year in high school, I was getting ready to go to the prom. I had a full head of hair. I obviously
said long time ago.
I had no gray in my beard. I didn't really have a beard then. Just more a face full of acne, but
Listen, I'm surprised you ain't mentioned seeing Pat Ewing in a fucking Sonic jersey ain't upset you that much. But that was still disgusting.
That was horrible.
That
You
was
guys
horrible.
see, and that's the thing with you Knicks fans. Shout out to the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously they suffered a tremendous loss, and those memes of those people in the stands reminds me of this just blind faith that some Knicks fans have. This blind faith that they're gonna get big trades, your LeBrons, your Kyries. They're gonna go to the championship. They're gonna get Kevin Durant. They're gonna get James Harden. It's just always this long distance javelin throw to see if it's going to hit the target.
But listen, bro, you ain't gonna sit there and tell me that if Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving went to the Knicks, you'll be a Knicks fan today. Exactly.
Quite
Fucking
possibly.
Exactly.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly. I mean, James Harden will be a Knick too.
No, see, I mentioned quite possibly because obviously management's still in tow. So shout out to Leon Rose doing an excellent job. Boom, boom.
So, Ann, let me start here. So right now the Knicks, we're embarking on the halfway point of the season. All-Star's coming up in Cleveland. Still don't know why it's in Cleveland. But right now the Knicks, a playoff team last year, they were number fourth seed in the East.
Crazy.
Right now they're teetering 10, 11. They're going back and forth. They're starting to play better now. Are you that fan that says, you know what? We've had injuries, we had COVID situations, so we're just trying to get back on track. Are you more on the side of a little disappointed for what you saw last year compared to this year? So
both. I mean, I think when you go back to the start of the season, you start off 5-1. You have that incredible opening night win versus the Celtics, double overtime game. You go to Chicago, beat them in the final seconds. Obviously, you blew a 10-point lead. You win by 1. You start out 5-1. So, yeah, it's very disappointing where we are now. But the fact that we are where we are, we're sitting around that 10-11 spot. We had the same record as we did last year. I'm not that mad. But, yeah, of course it's disappointing. That's obvious.
How much is that coaching?
I don't think it's coaching. I just think, we've had some injuries. Julius Randle hasn't been as great. Evan Fournier, he's up and down. We're finally starting to see RJ Barrett come alive. But I don't think that's coaching, though.
Well, in reference to their losing, in reference to me seeing that Obi can use a lot more minutes that he's getting, based on the games that they get down 15-10 early. Those are the
I would probably like to see Obi play more, but I don't think Obi's going to make that much of a difference in wins and losses. I don't. I like him. I would like to see more of him, but I don't know if Obi's going to make that much of a difference when it comes to wins and losses. But I like him. I like Obi.
But I think Obi should get more playing time. Because
he should. I agree.
When there are games that Randall is not doing well,
I agree.
Why do you keep him in the game long?
And I would like to see, especially with no Nerlens Noel. I mean, Noel, that's a big factor too. Nerlens Noel was such a factor last season. This year, he's barely played due to a multitude of reasons. So I would like to see more of Julius Randle and Obi Toppin on the court together at the same time.
I mentioned coaching because there have been I've watched multitude of Knicks games and I double back with Randy and he confirms whether I'm seeing something incorrect or correct.
Yeah.
And there are some games where I've seen where it's down 15 first, second quarter. He's not playing. Coach Tibbs. Shout out to you, Coach Tibbs. Not playing Quentin Grimes.
Yeah. I would like to see more Quentin Grimes too, and I think we will.
At this point, Evan Fournier at the mid-year mark, I don't know if he's a better fit. When I see Grimes on the court versus Evan, it's a different bounce. I love Grimes, and obviously, people talk about like Allen Houston. He does have a little bit of a stroke like Allen. Sure does.
Allen Houston's jump shot is like Aaliyah. It's 1 in a million.
Pure.
But Quentin Grimes' stroke, it's got a little H2O in it. I'll say
water.
that. But I definitely want to see more Quentin Grimes, Deuce McBride. And we will. I think especially Quentin Grimes. But it's going to be interesting because, you're going to have Cam Reddish in the mix soon, too. So,
and that's what I'm saying, because Evan Fournier should be like this. looking over his
should
shoulder,
be ready.
Grimes and
He
Cam
should
Reddish
be.
show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For me, in terms of like obviously the February 10th, the trade deadline. There could be some still work to do. Who knows? Maybe the Knicks maybe pull something else off.
Right.
But Evan, having to lose those minutes and then get paid that much and then still be on the roster past February 10th doesn't make sense.
It's crazy. When Evan gets hot, he's good. But I feel with Evan Fournier, there's no middle ground. There's no just a nice 16-point game, and it's either 3 points or 35.
He has to play Boston.
Just give me like a regular 17-point night where you hit a couple threes and contribute. We don't need 35 every night, but we damn sure don't need 3 points every night either.
Right.
We need something in the middle.
Right. At the same time too, I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't be mad at Evan if he played defense.
Yeah, he doesn't really.
If you don't play defense and you're giving me 3 points, I can't see you anymore. I can't see you.
And to Denny's point, when you mentioned about Tibbs and coaching, I think it's a mix of coaching. Some players either slowly regressed or just stay the same. Also, the fact that a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference got better. So Chicago, Cleveland, Charlotte, Washington, this ain't last year. So if people are even saying the Eastern Conference is as good or even better than the Western Conference. So the Knicks are not under the radar no more. So they know what they're going to do. So when we seen Miles Bridges gets 38 or whatever on the Knicks, so people had the career highs against the Knicks. So
20
these things are happening.
First quarter.
Come on, listen. They were seeing Bridges, Rubio before he got hurt get damn near 40 on us. It's like I don't understand why people come to the Garden and they just want to
that Ricky
get the
Rubio
career high.
game was who's the kid from Orlando? The third game of the season.
Cole?
Oh, not Cole. I mean, Cole Anthony had a big game. What's his name? He had a bunch
Wagner, the forward. Wagner.
No, what's his name? Orlando. He had a bunch of threes.
He's a guard.
Guard, small forward. He had a bunch of threes in the third game of the year when we lost.
It's not Cole.
My God.
Somebody else. But even then, here's the concept. Yes, you mentioned Bridges.
Right.
He was hot from tip. From opening tip. It wasn't like he got second quarter, he caught a rhythm, and then third quarter was just downhill.
Yeah,
no.
he killed it.
He got like 22 in the first quarter.
And again, back to my coaching. Back to what I'm just talking about coaching. Hey, he's hot. Can he get a double?
Terrence Ross,
yes.
Terrence Ross comes in the Garden, drops like 50 that day. And that's been so it's funny. You go back to the third game of the season. The Knicks were 2-0. Opening night, the huge win versus Boston. They go down to Orlando, win that game. The third game of the year, it felt like we were about to win 60 games. The energy at the Garden that night was crazy. And then Orlando comes in and beats us. And you say to yourself, all right, this is probably a fluke. And the next game, you wash Philadelphia at the Garden. You go into Chicago, beat Chicago, then you beat New Orleans, and now you're coming back home to play the Raptors, and you're like, yo, we're about to win 60 games. And then really since that New Orleans game, the Knicks really were below average team. Only now they've won about 9 of 12 games, getting back. But there was a point 2-3 weeks ago where like they were a few losses away of being like, yo, the play-in game isn't even going to be a chance. But now back around 500, game over 500, you're a 5-6 game winning streak away from getting in that top 5 or 6, 4 seeds again. So
like right now, above you, obviously Chicago, Miami, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Philly, Charlotte, Washington, Toronto, and even Boston.
It's a lot of teams.
And like 5 of those got way better.
That's why I said nobody's pulling away from anything. So if you could be one of those teams now, easily Boston could be one of those teams. Charlotte could be one of those teams. Toronto could be. Washington could be. But one of these teams, you catch fire, you win, 13 of 18. All of a sudden, you go from 9-10 to 3.
Give us.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I certainly hope it does.
As the time is ticking, thank you so much for joining us. Give us at least 3 things that need to happen in order for your Knicks to
easy answer. 3 things? Easy.
So for your Knicks to at least win a playoff game.
Win a playoff game.
Easy answer. Julius Randle step up to the level he played at last year. RJ Barrett keep up this play and be consistent. Derrick Rose come back healthy and be Derrick Rose.
Damn, you got to rely on Derrick Rose to come back?
Listen, Derrick is a very important player for this
He's
team.
very important, bro. Very important.
And he's still really good.
He is.
He's very crafty also.
But he is. I get nervous when you know the team has to rely on an injured player.
You asked me a question, I delivered an answer.
Hey, that's what we like to hear.
And also number 4, we need Kemba. Like yesterday would have been a perfect game for Kemba. No offense. We have 60 points in the fourth quarter or whatever. Kemba would be able to get us some offense.
I don't think you should mention Kemba to this man because I don't know what it is. They're both New York and BX natives, and somehow Denny Blanco has this thing against Kemba Walker. And I don't know what it is.
Kemba Walker.
Against Kemba. I guess yes.
Randy,
tell him.
Randy likes.
Did Kemba ever play hoops in the sun back in the day?
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yes,
nice.
he did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kemba, Randy has a thing to make me laugh when he says this. I told Randy, I said, unfortunately, Kemba's knees. I am not convinced that he's.
Yeah, you might be right, and I love Kemba. You might be right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the data suggests I can't rely on Kemba.
It was probably the blacktop at Orchard Beach.
Don't blame us. Don't blame us. I was way before that. I had it in high school.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As soon as he was coming into the Knicks, I said, "Yo, Randy, I love him. I loved him in Charlotte. I love the years that he became a great player, but it seems to me his knees are going to be concerned, and as we're seeing, his knees are a concern.
Yeah,
the best, he has to be available. He has to be. Sorry,
I agree.
Yeah.
Question I got, I think we would both agree. We both love the young core the Knicks have. Obi, the Quickleys, the Grimes, all that good stuff. But every year Knicks fans on Twitter and social media, sometimes I'm guilty of that, where we're like, hey, if we can get this guy from over here, we got to give up a young asset or two.
Real quick to trade him.
And obviously trade deadline is coming up. We just got Cam Reddish. Do you feel that the Knicks team right now?
By the way, I'm at the game yesterday. Did you see Cam yesterday? How he looked? Like his
comfortable.
Outfit?
Look comfortable.
I swear he looked like a No Limit Soldier from 1999.
I thought I told you.
You know what it was? It was the chain, and from I wasn't far from it. It looked like it said NL. I mean, it didn't, but in my head, I'm seriously watching like a No Limit video from '99. He had the hairstyle of those guys. I'm like, I feel like he looks like a No Limit Soldier. Although he's probably so young, he probably don't even know what No Limit was.
He absolutely does not know what No Limit Soldiers were.
They had to run for like a year or two.
So the first part of this multi-part question: 1, do you think the Knicks stay the same? Yes or no?
I think there's one more move. Whether it's going to be major or not, I don't know. But I see one more move. But I think getting Cam was huge. But I can see one more move for sure.
If they were to make a move, what kind of move you think they should do? Like what position you feel like they should?
I'll tell you what, I would have said center, but Mitchell Robinson's playing how I thought he would 2 years ago. Mitchell Robinson's playing better again. I'm a big Mitchell fan, except the free throws. We could use more ball handling because Quickly's not a true point guard. Kemba's knees are shot. And you can't expect when Derek comes back, he can't be playing 40 minutes a game. So even if he's not great, a real point guard. Because I love me some Alec Burks, but it's not fair to big money AB to be handling the ball like that. Big money AB is a bucket getter. So it's not fair that Alec Burks gotta play so much point guard.
That tells you a lot about the first kind of point guard team you have. That tells you a lot.
Right.
And if there was a move to be made that might include somebody in their young core who was you're like, listen, man, you can take anybody you want except this guy or that guy. There's Barrett, there's Obi, there's Quickly.
You don't want to give up RJ Barrett.
Unless.
I mean, there's always unless if Bob Myers called and said, "Yo, we got Steph Curry for RJ Barrett," you're gonna make the deal. So it's so easy. There's only 5 players in the NBA untradeable. LeBron James, probably
Durant.
Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Even James Harden's tradable. Kyrie Irving's tradable. I mean, Giannis is probably untradeable. If Kyrie wasn't kooky, he'd probably be untradeable.
Because I feel like the guys who were –
which you got to figure he's going to get traded over the summer. You can't be having him a part-time player all year.
I feel like guys who are in the mix, who are in this bubble of like Knicks potential, like Damian Lillard, he's out with an injury. I keep hearing they want like a Miles Turner, but I think he's out for 2 weeks with foot
Let me throw some names. Let me throw some names for you guys. Okay, free agents, unrestricted free agents, point guards. We need point guards, right? Patrick Beverley, Jalen Brunson.
That's the guy I keep hearing. I keep hearing him a lot.
And remember, Leon Rose's first client of his career was Jalen's father, Rick Brunson.
Enough said. Michael Carter Williams.
He's still in the league? The same question we just had.
Michael Carter Williams.
Who's name a more random rookie of the year than Michael Carter? Maybe what's his name from Sacramento 10 years ago? What's his name?
Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek Evans. I thought he was going to have a great career.
Me too. And same thing with Michael, but we digress. Goran Dragic.
No.
Tyus Jones. Alfred Payton.
No, we just had him.
Gary Payton. No, I think Gary Payton just Golden State said they're going to resign him. So that's not even a question. Obviously, Rajon just signed.
I mean, I don't really look at Quickly as a point guard, though. And I like Quickly. I think he's more like I think he's like a poor man's Lou Williams.
Yeah, he's a combo.
The one guy you keep mentioning, Denny, De'Aaron Fox.
So you know what's funny about De'Aaron Fox is that like I'm not gonna lie and sit here like I know he's nice, but nobody Sacramento. I haven't watched the Sacramento Kings since Mike Bibby and Chris Webber, unless they play the Knicks. I have not watched it, so I don't. And I'm big on the eye test. So like get the fuck out of here with plus minus. And
No.
I don't watch the Kings. De'Aaron Fox is nice.
No. Forget the numbers. De'Aaron Fox eye test. He'd be great on the Knicks.
Right.
He'd be great on the Knicks. But other than that, those are all the point guards you got to choose from, and then that are available. Everybody else is shooting guards and power forward. So it's like you just gonna have to make it work.
So Ed,
need Derek back.
Who is a team? Who is a team in the East and West that you're surprised that they're doing very well, and then you're surprised that they kind of regressed?
Doing very well. You got to go with the Cavs, man. I mean, we saw that early in the year when they came and beat us on that Sunday night. The Lakers, I'm not surprised at all. That roster is so weird. I'm surprised Golden State was that good before Clay got back. Like
I wasn't
extra good.
I wasn't.
Like I'm not surprised they're good.
Yeah, just that good.
At one point was like what 20-something
that good
or something.
When you have a core coaching staff and a developing a coaching staff that develops players.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to see what Wiseman and Kuminga, my African brother. I am so excited to see where they go.
I'm super disappointed. I know they've had injuries too, like the Blazers. They're not even going to be in a playing game. Maybe it's finally time Dame's going to bounce. The Lakers. I mean, Frank Vogel's probably about to get fired. Have we ever seen a superstar get more coaches fired than LeBron James? It's really ridiculous. And I'm not one that like hates on LeBron, but like, bro, you're that good. You're one of the best of all time, maybe the best of all time. And I've never seen a human get so many coaches fired. It's mind-boggling.
I think for me, surprise of how they took a step back is Atlanta.
Yes.
Atlanta was just in the fucking conference finals. Now they're like number 12.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with Clint Capella being in and out of the lineup.
But still, you still got players. You still got Trae Young and Bogdanovich and
John Collins,
and what's the white kid's name?
Kevin Huerter.
Kevin Huerter. Like you still got play. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and from a doing really good, I think you mentioned Cleveland. I would have to go with both Minnesota and Memphis. I know Memphis was
good.
Has
been awesome.
But now they're like third in the fucking Western Conference. I'm like,
yeah.
You know why? You know why Memphis is so good? because no one on that team could be bullied.
Yeah, they're tough.
No one on the and then Dylan's out. Their best perimeter defender is out.
Mhm.
So just imagine that they going into the playoffs, they get Dylan back. They're not going to be bullied.
Mhm.
It's
Exactly.
going to be interesting.
And again, the Knicks were one pick away from John Morant.
One pick away from John Morant, one pick away from Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Not one pick away. They easily could have had Donovan Mitchell on their team. So, yeah, it's tough, bro.
Oh, Kobe picked Frank
Ntilikina.
Ntilikina. That's right.
And you want me to join that? You want me to really sit back? I'm sitting back in parties with this guy. We're looking at draft boards, and he's literally speaking to me like he's like, "Yeah, Dennis, this is gonna be our year." I'm like, every single time this comes up, it's like Stephen A. with the Dallas freaking Cowboys. You just wait. You just wait. Whatever happened will happen.
Yep.
That's right. I got a few more before I let you go. And so, if the Knicks don't make the playoffs, is this a really like a real disappointing season for you?
Yes, absolutely. No playoffs? Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Not all. No playing game, no nothing.
That'd be terrible. That would be terrible. I wouldn't want Coach Tibbs fired, but that'd be terrible.
Whoa. Let me wind that. Because I want to ask the right question when I hear that. If the Knicks do not make the playoffs this year, Coach Tibbs should be looking over his shoulder?
No, because here's why.
No,
you have to build something, man. Like, we have fired a coach every 2 years for 21 years now. Now, if the Knicks don't make the playoffs 2 or 3 years in a row, then he should be gone. But no, you can't just fire a coach on a knee-jerk reaction. You know, especially off a year that's weird with the COVID stuff and this and that. We fired a coach literally every 2 years for 21 years. You can't keep doing it. You just can't. Sometimes in life, you just got to stick it out.
Well, and that's when, again, sometimes in life you have to stick it out. I've seen past histories, the Knicks organization have cut the cord real quick. So.
And how's that worked out? How's that worked out? All the coaches we've cut the cord on quick. So even if you don't make the playoffs, you don't fire Tibbs.
Aren't you still paying somebody? Are we still paying
Derek Fisher? I think Derek is past 5.
Derek Fisher, Jeff Hornacek, David Fisdale. Derek is crazy. Mike Woodson, but you can't fire Tibbs.
Kurt Rambis. Like, come on, man. This is crazy.
Guaranteed money.
I think it's not out the window to say, like, I think RJ Barrett's going to be the main go-to guy on the Knicks. I know Randall's an all-star, and he's the double-double guy, and me and Denny go back and forth because whenever there is a Ben Simmons out there or this other guy, people are going to say, well, the one guy you got to give up is Julius Randle. And I'm like, for me as a fan, I'm not the one to be quick to say, you know what, hell no way. I'm like, you know what, let me think about it. Let me see how it could work. So Denny is on the side of, keep Ben Simmons away from me. And for you, Ant, you're like, keep it, and also Denny, keep a guy like Zion away from me. So 2 guys who are all-stars, who are not even playing right now, could be potential Knick targets, however that can happen. You're like, I don't want neither one of them. So I guess Randall's going to be the main guy in New York until he leaves or something, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay,
so you don't want Zion?
No, hell no.
Do you want Ben Simmons?
Probably not, but I ain't touching Zion.
Hey, see?
I'm not touching Zion.
Why?
I'm saying, okay, go ahead.
First off, I don't trust his body.
Thank you.
He's gotten super overweight.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's true if he's really eating to get out of New Orleans. That'd be really unprofessional. But Zion's played in 40 games in 3 years. I'm not. I don't give me the Joel Embiid comparison. I don't trust Zion. I'm rooting for him. Seems like a good kid. I'm not. The Knicks have taken too many chances over the years. I am not taking a chance on Zion Williamson. And if he comes here and he becomes the greatest power forward of all time, I'll be rooting for him. That said, I'm not taking a chance on him. I'm not.
God bless. There you go. See?
You agree?
I agree completely. Randy's just all over the place. I told him Ben Simmons. I said if Philly don't want Ben, New Yorkers definitely don't want Ben. And we don't even know if this guy Zion is in shape. I said it's a question mark. Leave him alone.
Right, but it's not like I'm trading for Zion tomorrow. By the time the contract is up in 2 years, if he's back playing in shape, all-star status, then you're like, oh shit, maybe. And if he said I still want out, then you got a shot.
That's
if he's the same Zion today, I'd be like, you know what?
That's a bet you want to take,
bro. Are we really going to be here and sit here and say Zion is going to be the same player today, 2 years down the road, not playing, overweight, and just not giving a fuck?
That's a bet. Who would have bet that? Who would have thought Ben Simmons would be where he is right after that last playoff? I know I did.
But I think Ben will play before Zion. I think Ben's going to find a home before him. So would you want Ben Simmons?
Not really, but I would listen because he is great at what he's great at. You'd have to listen. But the things he's not great at, you would get frustrated. But I'm not saying
Denny Blanco.
I would definitely listen.
See, Denny, that's what I'm saying. Just listen to.
You have to.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm Philly. Hey, Anthony, check this out. I got Ben Simmons. We want RJ Barrett and Randall. Making that trade?
No.
Thank you. You listened.
Well, you can't throw both in that fucking. Yeah. You can't throw both.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. You think Daryl Morey's not asking for the whole sink, not just the piece of the like the faucet? No. He wants the whole sink, bro. Daryl Morey's going to ask for the whole sink, and if he's not going to get it, Ben Simmons is going to stay in Philly, as you can see.
So, do you still feel the Knicks are that kind of player away from being like, all right, we're top 3, top 2, number 1 in the East? Are we still that player, like a DeRozan, like a Zach LaVine player away from?
Of course. I mean, we're right around 500, so we need a lot more to go still. Or a guy like RJ Barrett to really get a lot better, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, you told me off the air that you're working on a book. So I know you're a longtime Knicks fan, 25, 30 plus years, doing great stuff in the community. And I think you go to every Knicks game for quite some time. So
just about
talk about this book.
Well, it's nothing. There hasn't been an official announcement yet, but
we're making it official. We're making it official.
I have a literary agent, and there'll be things coming soon.
Nice.
That's all I can say.
That's all he can say, bro. That's all he can say.
Y'all could use your imagination.
I got a wild one. I can see it already.
Yeah.
I hear the Knicks theme music in the background. You open the book and audio plays. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a 3D image comes up of Anthony. You know, wild opportunity here.
Yes.
Last question, Donahue.
Yeah.
What's the best, greatest game you ever been to at the Garden?
I've been to probably. I mean, it wasn't a great game because we won. It was a great game because my first playoff game I was ever at. We won 97-73. It wasn't my first Knicks game, but it was my first playoff game, and it was versus the Miami Heat. I never experienced energy like that. It was May of 1999, May 12th. The whole Garden chanting Riley sucks. The energy when the Knicks came out for warm-ups, blasting Super Thug. I mean, I've never experienced energy like that in my life. You know.
So, as a diehard Knicks fan, who do you hate more? Chicago, Indiana, Miami, Boston?
Miami the most for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Miami.
I took it real personal. Pat Riley going there.
Miami
the most.
Yeah, I never liked Miami. Once I saw Charlie Ward flip in the air.
Yeah.
Charlie didn't need that, baby.
Miami. I probably hated Reggie Miller the most as far as players, but I hated the Heat the most.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you hate Jordan the most?
I did, but you asked me a question, I gave you an answer. I hated the Heat the most. I hated Jordan. I hated Reggie Miller. But as far as the team I hated the Heat the most.
Yeah, you know what's funny? And before we wrap up, it's funny because I was, rabbit hole, YouTube, and I got to Pat Ewing's retirement ceremony, the jersey stuff.
Yeah.
So they had all the Hall of Famers, Barkley, Chris Mullin, and they introduced everybody. They started cheering and clapping. So Denny, I kid you not, they got to Jordan, and they booed Jordan, right? I'm thinking he's gonna get booed the most. They go to Alonzo Mourning.
He got booed the most. I was there.
Alonzo Mourning was like, woo.
He got booed the most.
Yeah, listen, you can't just the Miami. You have to remember Alonzo, PJ, all these PJ. I forget
Brown.
PJ Brown, not talking. PJ Brown. I mean, these guys were bullies to a team that really didn't need to get bullied. At the time. And
I was at you in night.
Yeah, and then lastly, people remember, Lonzo, you were dragging our coach Van Gundy on the floor, baby. We can't have that. We can't have that. Nah. That's why they didn't go.
In a playoff game. That's crazy.
In a playoff game, dragging because size 18 shoe was dragging Van Gundy. And they said, nope, not on our watch.
Yeah. And Donahue, follow him on IG and Twitter at Anthony MSG. Look out for the book for more announcements. Donahue, my man, thank you and I appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Have a great day.
All right, man, take it easy.
Go Knicks.
Yes, sir. You hear that, Denny Blanco? You hear that? He didn't say Brooklyn. He didn't say Brooklyn.
Just a stab in my heart.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all.
All right, y'all. Peace.